Lewis. Facts. What's up, guys? Bandito, Cravopolis, Stacy's Little Reef. How you guys doing? Good evening, good night. Cheers to you guys. Just waiting for Lewis here to join in with us. View requests. Go live. Not much, man. Having a pretty good day so far. So, let's see here. If I can get Lewis in. Oh, there he is.
We are live from Miami.
Well, we're live from Georgia here. Backyard barbecue.
Hey, I'm speaking for myself with my little Sunkus can over here.
Sunkus? No, man. Whiskey every time.
I'm behaving today, actually. Today I'm going to behave. I've already got my good drink on, so I'm all right for the night.
Listen, man, I've had a rough day today, man.
Oh, my gosh. I
left for work like 5 a.m. Got home probably like around 8 o'clock. It's been a long day. And everything that's broken still doesn't work. For everyone that's in here, welcome to the Reef Experience, so to speak. Today I had a rough day. Someone ran over the main water line in my restaurant that I run. I had it repaired after like 15 hours. The gentleman turned the water back on an hour ago, and the entire thing exploded again. So I lost a whole day of sales. I lost a whole day. I had the staff on, I made them lunch. It was just a complete waste of a day. It's horrible. So how you doing?
Sorry, got a call in. Got disconnected. Good. Hey, it's ironic, the water got to you at your place of business. You can't run from the water, man. You got water at home.
Yep. Ran out, but so far it's working out. It's working out. They say they'll have me up and running tomorrow, so hopefully I don't lose 2 full days of business, so to speak, if that makes sense. Because it's rough.
Hey, we got the reef plug in here, an aquaculture. Hey, the reef plug.
What's up, guys?
My bad. Now you see why I couldn't take the call. I'm gonna call you right after this.
Send us a link.
Definitely got to link up. What's up, aquaculture, man? Hey, I love what you're doing, brother. Big fan over here, Brian.
Reef Supreme, how you doing? So, guys, today we're just gonna kind of do a freestyle kind of stream. Just talk about some topics, what's coming to mind, let everyone know what's going on and what we going on. For myself, today was the big announcement for everybody with the bulk reef supply thing. So we're super happy about the BRS Reef Pack. We got the group chat going now. Got lots of people now. I know who my follower friends are in the BRS Reef Pack. So we all know who each other are now. So that's pretty dope, man. I'm pretty hype about it. It's bulk reef supply.
Mr. Reef Pack. I'm gonna start calling you Mr. Reef Pack. Hey, I'm gonna tell you. I figured we kind of touch in on equipment a little, like not equipment, but sumps in general. Since I saw some big news today come out of your side.
Yeah,
like you're gonna be doing some work downstairs in the basement.
Mm-hmm. So I went ahead and so what I did is, as everybody knows, I'm gonna go ahead and build a nano frag tank. I think my niche is these nano tanks. I think that's what I'm gonna roll with for now. I could get a big giant display tank or whatever, but I think I'm gonna just roll with what's working for me. So I'm gonna set up that nano frag tank. It's a 5-gallon acrylic display. It is drilled already, so that way I can go ahead and plumb it. With the whole BRS Reef Pack thing, it kind of took it to the next level. So today I went ahead and I ordered everything I needed. All the Schedule 80 plumbing, blue PVC. I got that Fiji 12 sump in it. So now I just got to wait for it to come. I ordered some frag racks. I ordered some little frag plugs. And understand, after all these years in the hobby, I've never ordered a frag disc, right? I've never ordered glue. I ordered the scissors. I ordered the frag kit, so just trying to get that build going.
Hey, it's a fun part of the process. Definitely not on the paying side, but hey, we all gotta pay for what we want, So
yeah, man.
But but it comes with the territory. But it is a good feeling seeing everything coming along, and especially when you start taking this route, which I think is something you develop with time. It's like a sense of, I mean, it's a sense of maturity in the hobby, because I used to be completely off. I used to be kind of all over the place back in the days with the tanks. Granted, I was good. I would get stuff done, but like go retrospect to the way I am now, it's okay. I was deaf. I don't know. I pulled off some miracles back in the days. Like looking back, I was like, okay, that's pretty crazy. But
and I've never had multiple tanks before. So I kind of think it'll be cool to I always had one and then shut down one and built the next one, right?
To clarify, that's really
what I've
how it's always been for me too. I just had a bunch of tanks throughout the time, but every time there was a sense of maturity from tank to tank, like as far as like the way I was addressing myself on equipment purchasing and just thought process behind the build. And I think, you know, each one, obviously you get better and better and better. And to you were talking about nanos and smaller tanks. I was always like on the bigger builds. I started off, I don't want to say small, but I started at 90 gallons. That was my original Reef tank. So I
standard 90, like I had the 4 foot.
As standard as can be. This was 11 years ago. It was like a Craigslist, exactly what you would expect on Craigslist for free type of ordeal. And then I could have gone either way. I think it was all about the way I met people and, like, you know, what I rubbed off on, which once again, the Reef Plug, he's in here, but he was one of my first Reef
Big Easy
buddies, Reef interactions, like where we were going back and forth, and he was on his way to a bigger build, and I kind of joined him along the ride, and we both kind of had a similar thought process. And to your point, though, I would kind of go away and then come back, and he would stick around. So it was good for me because I was always like coming back to it, and we had already built a friendship. So he was always like my wake-up call coming back into the hobby every time, because he was always he stayed on the tune, and he had a break in between, but far fewer than me. Like, I had a lot of tanks throughout the time, and he was always big builds, constant, like real establishments through like years and years. Like,
how many tanks do you think you've built over the years?
Man, I mean, I want to say I'm up in the dozens somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And what do you do? What happens with all of these tanks? A dozen? That's a lot, man.
I mean, like, yeah, like, right. It was always the carpentry side, rebuild side for me was always like a part of the hobby. Like, I would go in it with that in mind, because I would enjoy seeing the paint, the finishing after it's done, like a cheap purchase that, okay, I just got something really cheap that just needed TLC, and look what I just turned it into, you know? And I've done that not only with tanks, I've done that even like do-it-yourself around the house type stuff for my wife's decor.
We shout out everyone real quick. Tom, what's up, Tom? BRS Reef Packers, you already know. We in there. Me, West Coast, Reefing with O. Greg Carroll, we're up, right? Jay Carey's in the Reef. Louis, you follow Jay Carey, right?
I think I started following him from last time.
He's I'm fairly certain he's local to us. He has an amazing YouTube channel. He makes really good videos, like super high quality, good audio, good music. Tanks are really nice, SPS tanks, you know, full nice mixed reef tanks. I believe he even ran natural seawater for a long time.
Hey,
I may be wrong. I think maybe he started the tanks with natural, but I think he runs with natural seawater too.
Just to make sure and give him a proper shout out, like the handle, is it Jay Carey on YouTube as well? Is that how you hunt him down?
I believe it is Jay Carey on YouTube. I think it's the same name. Maybe if he's still in here, he'll comment and tell us. But his page is pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna check him out tonight, guys. You guys check him out as well. Let's show him some love and support. And same over here. Show us some love and some support. We're trying to grow this and spend some time with y'all. We truly enjoy doing this, whether there's growth now, which I mean, we truly, really want genuinely to be transparent.
You know what we got to do, right? We got to start starting them off like real podcasts, and we got to say, you know, what episode are we on? No,
hundred
are
percent.
we on episode 8 or are we on episode 5? I think we're on episode what, like 4 or 5 now.
Think so. Yeah, we're up in there. We're up
Not
in
too
there. We're
bad.
building it up. I
We'll
love
look
it.
up one. We'll look up one day. We're at 1,000.
I can't wait, man.
God willing, right?
We gotta call it into existence.
That's a
Um,
fact. That's
hey,
a fact.
Shears and Beards. That's Mr. Kevin, man. He's definitely shown a lot of us a lot of support and love down here through
Shears
the
and beards. I
rooms
got
and
the
stuff.
beards, no shears.
Hey, May, speaking, hey, the internet's undefeated, man. Today, you saw that meme I sent you earlier, man. That was hilarious, man. I'm gonna tell you, there's some
That was
funny
pretty
stuff.
good.
There's some funny stuff coming out, and I mean, Mondo Reef, check him out. He does memes and funny stuff like that
Yeah.
too, guys. I think that I'm a fan of comedy, so I enjoy that that's being incorporated into the hobby. You know,
You know what's funny? You were telling me about the Dave Chappelle joke from last week, and I was watching my stream, and I was like, "Yo, I'm smoking cigarettes on the stream, like Dave Chappelle. You know, he's on stage, and he's burning down the whole pack of cigarettes while he's up there talking." I'm like, I guess I'm gonna ride with it, right? If Dave can get away with it, why not? It's Sky High Reef, right?
absolutely.
I gotta be who I am. So for anyone out there that's not friendly to the whiskey or friendly to the other stuff, you know, this is who we are, man. We're just chilling. We're just normal people and just trying to share our reef experience with you guys. For me, Thursday is the day. I got Thursday off. I picked Thursday shipping. We're going to get that big BRS Reef Pack box.
Hey.
So I'm excited. And then here's the crazy part, right? So I ordered all of the stuff that I needed, all of the unions, all of the plumbing. I forgot the gate valve, so I had to go back and do a separate order. And I paid for that myself, right? The only other tank that I've ever done this on was the 90-gallon tank, right? That I used to call Project Black. All right. And if you go back to my page, you know, about a year ago, you'll see me building that tank. So I actually purchased that 90-gallon tank. I wanted to refurbish the tank. You know, I wanted it to be my first experience at building a tank, right? Because I think anyone can, I don't want to say anyone, but people can buy a water box, and you buy it and you unbox it and you put it together and it's beautiful day one and it works, and you know, for years and years and years. But I think the average person has the normal tank in their house, right? I think they have that normal tank that you see with the canopy, with the stand, and it matches kind of that old wood style. I think that's what the majority of fish tanks look like. So when I built that tank, my goal was, well, let me learn. Like I told you guys before, I'm not super handy. So I was like, let me learn how to put a fish tank together. How does the stand work? How to refurbish it. And, you know, I sanded that tank. I painted it. I ordered the stuff. And I felt good about it. I put it together. I drew out all my plumbing. I cut all the plumbing myself. I glued everything. And that tank, although it didn't thrive, it worked for a year and a half without fail. It didn't leak. Nothing bad ever happened. I built it pretty well. So I'm thinking about this frag tank, and I ordered all of the stuff, like I said, the couplers, you know, all of the pieces that go to it. But I'm pretty excited because, you know, I've done it once before. So now I'm thinking, do the same thing. You know, I'm going to have the matching PVC to the sump. I got a pretty nice sump. It's the Fiji 12 Cube from Bulk Resupply. And it looks pretty fancy. It's got probe holders. It's got skimmer adjustments. It has a huge skimmer section. So the top has a lid to where I can put an oversized skimmer in it.
I love that.
The filter sock area holds a filter sock, or it holds a basket where you could put a filter floss in it out of the box. You know, it has a pretty big return section. So I think it'd be pretty cool to build that tank out. I also got the acrylic stuff to clean the acrylic, all the scratches out of it.
Awesome.
And, you know, normally, maybe these aren't things I would normally buy, right? But given the opportunity, now that I'm going to be able to purchase some of these things, it'll be cool to see me build it, see me document it. Other people can watch me build the tank, watch me, you know, learn how to clean acrylic glass and get the scratches out. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, I don't know.
Yeah, it will.
You know,
It will.
Yeah.
Naked Dog Reefer, what's up? Thanks for joining. Nano Reefer Alex, thanks for joining.
Junior.
Del 11, thanks for joining. But yeah, we were just talking about just equipment in general, sumps specifically.
Yep.
I gotta give a shout out to Poseidon Creations.
Yep.
They built. He's an acrylic design artist, to say the least. He does a lot of work, so much respect to him. He does a lot of sumps. I met him later on in this build, so unfortunately, but fortunately in a sense, because I'm very happy with what I have. But unfortunately, I didn't. My tank has a Synergy Reef sump.
Those are
Um,
nice too, though. Those are nice. Is it
Coincidentally,
red? Is yours red or just one
mine's
red?
is black and green. I'll show it to you
Okay.
now.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
but there's a cool story behind that, because the guy, I mean, to your point, Synergy Reef does amazing work. As I was looking into my sump, which was one of the first, well, obviously by default, it's one of the first things you look into after the tank and stand, and you got your dimensions set out. But I went looking for subs, and I ran into Synergy Reef, coincidentally there in North Carolina. I'm having a casual conversation with a peer of mine from work, which has no reef. He's not into. He doesn't have a tank.
Right, right,
He
right.
just knows about tanks through me, because I'm always sharing. Well, this was a few years ago, but I was sharing always. I'm building a new tank. I'm excited. Here's what I'm up to. At this time, there's not this build. And he tells me, the guy, he's one of my best friends,
Okay.
the owner of
You're cool.
Synergy
Right.
Reef. So I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And my bud lives in North Carolina. He's in the Carolinas. So he connects me, and this build for me was like very specific, like to what I wanted. And he took care of it. He did it, and he did a phenomenal job. I'm very happy with it. It's been there originally with no intent to change it. I was thinking ahead of my time, because once again, this was one of the first Triton method sumps, or
So
refugium as he would
that's
call
what
it.
I was. That's what I was thinking. And Naked Dog says he bought acrylic and built it my own. Kudos to you, man. I mean, that's crazy. Lewis here, Reef X Corals. He can build some stuff as well, man. So I give you guys credit. I'm trying to get to that next level. I don't think I want to build anything from scratch, but I think I can build upon what I have, if that makes sense.
Yeah, look, most of the time, I'll give you guys a little backstory about me. Um, I used to do a lot of like jobs at like display, like Gucci, like Dolce and Gabbana, Puma, Nike, like all their stores. And as far as like acrylic displays, the
Yeah,
lighting, the transformers would go bad. And I mean, at the time, I was a young buck, had a family, and I could use all I can get. So
right, right,
I was
right.
going into some of these jobs. Granted, I do have a background
Yeah.
in, but there was some things, I shit you guys not, I was going in like somewhat like, I hope I can pull this off. And I've always was very smart about what I've done. I've
Yep.
never really like do anything that could really cause any
I
may.
mean, that's called ambition. That's called ambition.
Yeah, guys, let's be real. Like,
That's called
I
ambition.
did a lot of that. I did a lot of that, and I mean that has like built my confidence level, because I shit you not, most of the time, I mean 99% of the time, I got it done.
Yep.
Sometimes I would walk out of that place like, so
You
how
know,
did I?
a lot of
What did
time
I just
people
do?
don't give people credit for making it happen, right? I was
Yeah,
having a conversation with one of my employees today, and I just moved to Georgia, so the employees that I'm working with now, they don't know me, right? In comparison to when I was working in Miami, where a lot of the team members I worked with seen the evolution of me go from a regular employee to a manager to a boss. So they knew me. And I was having a conversation today with someone, and I was telling them, listen, my first day at my job, I had dreads like Kodak, but you seen Kodak Black, how from Miami, right?
oh,
I had dreads like that. I had three. There was one in the back. I had gold teeth. I was riding the bus. I was on a mission. I was trying to do the right thing, right? I was at that stage, and I took a job as a dishwasher. I have no formal business experience. I have no formal manager experience. I was a grown man's second job ever in his life. And I was explaining to that team member, you look now and some people say, oh, you know, you just work at that restaurant. But in my mind, right, dude, I run a multi-million-dollar business. Right? I run them. It's not in my mind. It's real, right? I have almost 50 employees, right? I manage hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, and I was the dishwasher, right? And I didn't know what I was doing. Today I was at work, crisis, and I was sitting today in my chair, you know, my chair I showed you, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what to do, right?
Yep.
But I got to make the best decisions possible, not for myself, but for my company, for my employees. But I'm kind of making it up as I go along with the best information and the best choices of judgment that I could make, and then you make something happen. And a lot of people, you know, they say, oh, you're faking it, you don't know what you're doing. But not knowing what you're doing is a start of trying, if that makes sense.
100%. Look, I'm in a very unique place in my business. And I have an almost identical story. I mean, I was a merchandiser. It was a position you found through I was on offer up. I was a
Yep.
young buck. This was under 20, but I did have my first one at the time. And
Started young, huh?
oh yeah, 100%. But and I guess to look, I'll try to get some reef talk in between this because there is some value in the reef world.
Well, yeah, and what I'm saying, it's not just about it's the reef experience, right? What we're talking about is to make it, you know, go along with that reefing thing. It's the ability of trying what you don't know and then being able to make it happen, right? I'm trying to build a frag tank with plumbing and a fancy sump and the backing of a company. When in reality, when that box shows up on Thursday, don't really know what I'm doing.
It's exciting. It's exciting. I mean, I'm going into lately. I've had so many W's throughout time that I've built a sense of
What's up,
confidence.
Quantum?
Like, what's up, Quantum?
Hold on one second.
To going into certain projects. And I think that's the part of the rewarding part of, to your point, trying things out and building things yourself, is the fact that there's like a reward that comes with it that's forever. You
Right.
know, like this build for me is forever. You know, like I will
Yeah.
remember no matter what happens, like, you know, and we are gonna have
You
our
did
tank
that.
and our
Yeah.
stories. That's forever. You know, it's a story for me. Um
Sky, if you go. Can you
Sky,
do you mind showing everyone what you have there, because you do have something really unique.
yeah, I
You do
will.
have something really unique.
I'll give you guys the. Actually, let me give y'all the whole shebang, and I'll show you guys the
If you
sump
help,
real
let me
quick
know.
too.
I will. I'll actually reach out, Naked Dog. You're always supporting us, and I'm probably gonna need some help. Man, I got a box of stuff coming, and I took advantage of the moment,
All right, let me
as
see
I
if I
should.
can.
Right?
I'm gonna flip this thing around. Tell me if y'all can see. Oh, hold on. I got this
Yeah.
lens on. There y'all go. That should be good. All right, so this is the room. Okay, so this is like the lounge per se. So you walk in, you got the Reef
Kind of
corals.
like a day room.
Okay. And it's
Very
an
nice.
island build, dead in the center of the room. You got this big old canopy, so it's pretty much from floor to ceiling. And this is the part that really goes down, up and down right here. So I'm working on that.
How's all your wiring? Do you have like a
It's
plug in the
it's
roof and a plug in the floor, in the middle of the floor?
exactly. So there's this is segregated from the bottom. So the whole
Right.
lighting system and the whole this power, everything that happens up here stays up here. And
Okay.
then everything that happens down. And this, once again, I built this from scratch. As you can see, like certain parts of it, like I thought as I was going, like even like holes, like as I put this wave maker, like things were added on as I went.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you know, like
It
I
looks
added.
really good.
Thank you. And then, you know, like here's where I keep my iPad usually, when I used to handle it with the Apex and all that stuff. And we're talking about sumps. So I'll give y'all a look real quick at the sumps. So, and right now it's a bit messy, so bear
Ooh,
with me, but
it's
this is
nice,
pretty,
though. It's nice.
yeah. So,
Fancy
you
looking.
know, so look, it was originally a Triton method, so it had no socks because there is no mechanical filtration in the Trump method, in the Triton method.
Okay.
So I had to like hardwire a floss method that was simple to change up and stuff like that. So I built that U right there that offers like and let me take this top off. Maybe y'all can see it better.
Most synergy reefs are, they were originally designed for Triton method, no? Because I
Uh
know that synergy reefs, their sumps have a lot of the extra little pieces. You know what I mean?
yeah, they weren't originally Triton method, but I think they were one of the originals in that Triton method.
Right.
As far as commercial builds.
Yeah.
Um But they caught my eye because they definitely had that very professional. I'm gonna put you guys back on the. Oh, sorry, guys.
Uh-oh.
No, it's all good. I just
And are
trying to
you
catch you
running
back on
pros
so I
or are
don't have
you
to
running
hold y'all.
blues? Because those are, you running pros or blues?
But yeah, they definitely had like like I was sold before I found out my buddy knew the guy, but after I like figured out like okay, this is gonna really be a step up because
Yeah.
I can actually communicate with the builder, the owner of the company, which back then they weren't as big as they are now. They were already big. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's a
But
mainstream brand. It's definitely a mainstream brand, for sure.
I'm sorry. I guess when I dropped the phone, the volume went down. Can you say that again?
No, I said Synergy Reef is definitely like a mainstream brand. Like I know of the brand. It's on the same line of brand as Synergy is like a Geo's sump. It's the same quality, same that higher tier of customized sumps, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
actually why I went with the one I went with.
I like the one you picked. I really do. I like it. I mean, one thing that I've always been big on because I've just had like since I used to buy like used tanks, like I would have to suffice to certain subs.
Right.
Like certain amount of chambers, and then I was always having to like rig just
Make it all
something
work.
up to
Yeah.
make something happen. And I just like in this I told myself from the beginning, if I'm gonna do one of these big beautiful builds, I'm not gonna like do things that I will regret in the
I
future.
want to
I'm
have
gonna
all
be.
the extra pieces already.
I'd rather wait. Like I was at a point where I was
Yeah.
like, all right, it's X amount of dollars. Like rather than like not doing it or like I would just wait. I would say, okay, if I can't afford it now, maybe in 2 weeks and 3 weeks, and then I would come around and I would buy exactly what I needed to fulfill my somewhat thought process at the time where I was expecting to be 4 years down the road, which is kind of where we are.
So when I had my 90-gallon tank back in Miami, I had the standard eShop 3-foot sump, right?
Okay.
I think it's called the RS 300 is what I want to say it's called. Not the new ones with all the colors and stuff, but the generation before, the white sumps with the baffle, the big extra space. But it was 36 inches. It was a real deal sump. And it didn't have any of the extra little compartments, right? All of the probe holders or the ATO thing, you know what I mean? All of those little extra pieces, the little float for the skimmer, not the float, but the little thing that you move, the slider that you move up and down to control the height of the water for the skimmer. It didn't
Yeah.
have any of those things, right?
Mm.
So I found that, and this is why I don't like big tanks to this day, right? Right? It was because of that sump. To me, the sump was so big, and I had so many things connected down there. I had things people never heard of, things that never even came out to market. I had things that I was testing inside of that sump, working with CoralView. Um, and to me, every time I opened that door, it was just like work. Like not only work, but there was just so much. There were so many wires. There were so many plugs, right? You ever see some of those pictures online of reef tanks, and there's 500 plugs everywhere. That was my tank, and every time I opened it, it was so overwhelming to see all of that stuff. that I almost couldn't enjoy the tank, right? I'm buying a coral and the coral dies, and then it's like, oh, well, what's wrong? And then you start narrowing down. But I got 700 things plugged in down here. And it's like, how do you, and then the urge to not buy all of these equipment because I have such a large sum, it was
Then you
it's kind of
sacrifice.
crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, and I mean, once again, I go and I give a lot of people like advice and consultations and stuff like that, and I mean, when you walk into some of these sumps that are like just
What's up, everyone that's joining?
like that's step one, I think. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
how can you dissect the problem when you can't identify one? Like it's I think
you can't.
and
It's
once again I
impossible.
think that just comes
It's impossible.
it is. It is, and that's another part of the reason why this build for me has been like really good
Look at Naked
because
Dog.
since
Naked Dog said his sump is about 200 gallons.
oh
You know what I mean? Like, how much life naked? How much life force does that take to run a tank with a 200-gallon sump?
well the reef plug
But
runs
his tank scared me. The
his is
first
up in the
I told
hundreds.
you a couple episodes ago. The
That
first
man
time I
that
seen Jordan's tank, it scared me, man. I saw
that
all the Radions, and I said, "How the hell am I gonna buy How am I gonna buy eight XR30s? That's not realistic. I mean, you know what I mean? He had the UV, and the UV was 3 feet long, right?
yeah
He had all of the he had the torches. I don't know if you remember, but he had all of the torches in that right hand corner.
the
And I
garden.
and I remember looking at the torches and just thinking, like, I'm hype if I buy one torch. You know what it is to have a whole section of a 300-gallon tank with torches in it? Another section with chalice colonies, SPS going all the way up to the top. I'll be honest, man. When I saw Jordan's tank, the reef plug, I was intimidated. I knew I wasn't ready. Like, seriously. I saw all those Radions and I got nervous real fast.
Yeah, so me and him, we would connect and disconnect throughout the time, like throughout the whole decade, as I was on building tanks and he would stay on. And I remember between one of those hiatuses, when I came back on, he had jumped into like this collector mode.
What's up, Exo Lang?
For some reason, Des, I like my comments aren't coming in anymore, so I can't see after like a specific.
No,
After
you can't see him?
yeah, they got stuck on me. So and
Well,
viewers too.
let me run them down for you. I'll tell you everyone that's joined. We just had a whole bunch of people join.
Awesome.
Heaven's Reef, that's Geo. Shout out to Geo. He shipped me those corals, super legit. They're all alive. Julian, ALM joined. Jonathan's Reef joined. Central Texas Corals joined. Naked Dog Reefer joined. Well, he's talking to us. We like Naked Dog. Barnacle Boy Reefing joined. NC Brew 99. Moon's Reef joined. Grow House Aquatics joined. Biggs Reef joined. I think Biggs Reef is E. He's in our chat with us.
He's a great guy. Great
Yep.
guy.
Exo Lang. And then we got Heaven's Reef. Heaven's Reef got some Montes, right? So here's my thing on the Montes with Geo, right? Let's talk about Heaven's Reef. Since you work with Heaven's Reef a lot, and he has shipped me corals, and they were legit, and I was happy. He had other things to offer me, you know what I mean? So it was a good exchange. So here's my thing on Montes. I want Montes. He has Montes. I want to get a pack. 6 years ago, one of the first tanks that I set up on Instagram, if you scroll down to the first picture, it's a 30-gallon cube that my wife bought me for my birthday. And that's how the whole Instagram reef tank thing began, right? So in that tank, I grew out 5 Montes on this one rock, right? And it was like that big.
Wow.
And you know how sometimes they overlap?
Yes.
And you get that look? So I had a legit, like, colonies,
Beautiful.
right, of encrusting. So, you know, some Montes are plating and some Montes are encrusting. So I had that small little rock, and I had 5 encrusting Montes growing, and they all plated out because the rock was so small. And it was the dopest rock I ever had with the Montes. And then I got
I
Monty,
figured.
and then I got Monty eating nudibranchs. This is after I've been growing them out for 2 years. Like it was my showpiece, right? It was my thing. I got the Monty eating nudies. They started eating them. It was my first experience with a pest. And I'll be honest, I'm not a big dipper because of this story. I don't dip a lot of my corals, I'll be honest. I rather just buy from people I feel like it's safe from, even though it's
Yeah.
never safe, and I understand and I know that. But I dipped this Monty so many times trying to kill these nudibranchs that I killed the colony. I killed years and years and years worth of coral growth dipping it.
Yeah. That
And then the
hurts.
Monties never died. They never
Wow.
died.
Wow.
Right? And for years after that, I would put a Monty in my tank. 2 weeks later, you see the little nudibranch right on it. I'm
Wow.
talking about for like a whole year. Like I would go 3 months, no Monties. Drop a Monty in, 2 weeks later, he pops up.
Jeez.
And even in this tank, right? And this is, I'm talking about 3 tank transitions later. And maybe they're not related, right? Maybe the Monties are coming from different people, different places. Not the Monties, the nudies. But even when I brought this 25 Lagoon to Georgia and I bought a Monty, it had a nudibranch on it. And it made me so hesitant. And I just put a Jedi mind trick in there the other day.
Oof.
And it's chilling. I haven't seen any on it yet. But Geo's, I just want to, Heaven's Reef, I wanted to shout him out because he did
Well,
offer me a really good pack for a really good price, like a super fair price for what I was asking.
mm. Well, I'm so glad you brought it up, Des, because I felt like I owed it to him to speak and show him some love.
Yep.
Because a if you guys don't know about Heaven's Reef, it's ran by and owned by a gentleman by the name of Geo, in Florida, South Florida.
Yep.
And me and him, once again, these chat rooms have been a blessing to us because we've met some great people, and for me, I can say he's one of them. I originally, when I started the room, I started it with really no admins in play, just because I really didn't have a large group at the time. As the room built and got
Yep.
busier, I felt I could use some help.
Yep.
But it was hard for me to really put my finger on putting that pressure on somebody.
To commit
I
to
know
it because it's never ending.
It's a pain. It's hard.
It's never ending.
It's hard. And look, I took a while for me to figure out like who. And I mean, once he came on and me and him got together, I knew he was.
Did you meet Geo in the chat, or did
In
you
the
know
room,
him
in the room. He was
Nice.
one of the first. He was one of the first.
Nice.
I don't want to go. I really don't want to go into the story. It's not too interesting on how he got in,
Right.
but he got in. He got in very early. To your point, nothing but great corals, great personality, great guy.
Yeah, man. I can speak to the box he shipped me was super legit. Like I said, all the corals are there.
Yeah,
They're
and
all
look,
alive. It was a good conversation. It was a good transaction. I was happy with the whole thing, for sure.
yeah, and look, the chat room. I guess this is a great way to bring up this point of the chat room, and we've touched on it before, but it's great to re-emphasize that a part of what we do in these rooms is filter out through the bullshit. Filter out through the bullshit. Like as far as
Yep.
like people, just to make sure it's a very safe environment for ourselves and for everybody in it, because it's a family per se. And Heaven's Reef, Geo is a man of God. He's a good guy. He's a family man. He's very passionate about what he does. He truly tries every single time to make sure you're getting grade A product, you're getting a good experience, you feel safe, you feel good, and he's always willing to help. He's very fair on his prices. I mean, he really covers all checks, you know, all the checks on the list, really. So Heaven's Reef, guys, shop in peace there. The guy has amazing quality stuff.
And you know what's funny about you know what I was thinking about the other day I was looking at his page, and it's funny sometimes when you see people and you go to someone's page and they have that big 5,000 follower count. And you're like, "Oh man, this is so amazing. This is so amazing." And then you go to someone and although I have 1,500, right? I don't think that's a lot by any means, but you know, it's a start, right? It's a good point to be at. But a lot of times you come to people like his page or my page or your page or you know people like us where we're normal people, right? We didn't buy any of these followers or anything like that. And the quality of what he has on there, right? The way the pictures look, the way the page is set up, just all of it, it's all super legit. And it's kind of crazy that sometimes you see someone and they have 5,000 followers and you know they're full of shit. And then you can see someone and they have 500 followers, and although they don't have that great interaction, they have a better product, right? They're going to get you what you need. They're going to send it, and it's going to work, and it's going to stay alive, and it's fairly priced. They're going to help you with it. They're going to have conversation with you if you need to. So it's kind of important for people to take that into consideration when they're spending their money online, because sometimes those big influencers, right? They're not the go-to. A lot of times they're not going to talk to you. A lot of times they're not going to respond. A lot of times you're not going to. They're not even going to open your message. But then you might miss out on a good opportunity, like with Heaven's Reef, where you have someone who's probably going to respond. Someone who's probably going to have what you need. Someone who can ship you what you need. It's going to be legit. He's probably going to talk to you after the fact if you had a problem. I didn't have a problem, so I can't really speak on it. But I'm sure based on the transaction that it's going to be legit. He worked on the time frame, everything, man.
The guy, look, that's exactly why I told him, please join me on this journey and accompanying me in this room that can be a success for many people, including ourselves, because we were both two young guys with careers and families trying to squeeze this into the schedule. Yeah. So to your point, I think that's also part of the reason of the social media negligence in our part, is because it's very time consuming and necessary in this day and age. Don't get me wrong, but we got to give credit to these influencers and stuff, because it's technically another job. It's another to do it crazy and all the way and really get it right. It's a gig. It's a gig. And look,
I don't have time to do 3 posts a day, make a reel, make a story. I don't have the time. Yep. I do find the time to post when I can. I do find the time to do reels. I do find the time to try and take a picture of the tank. Right now I'm talking to you, and I was gonna make water, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard. So you do kind of have to give them some credit because they do put in the work.
Yeah, and look,
if they're legitimate followers. If there's real engagement. I don't want to give credit to people who did or did not purchase followers. I'm talking about real engagement, right? If 1,500 people follow me, I follow 1,400. And the couple that I didn't follow, or they just, it didn't happen.
It just got, there
was no ill intent.
No hard feelings.
But if I look at someone and they have 5,000 followers and they only follow 800 people, then you're not a real person to me. I can't. You're not legit. I'm sorry. I can't.
I'm so. I mean, look, and next time I want to talk about another gentleman that's joined. But I'll shout him out now, Murph Dog, because we all kind of tag team. And
man, I wanted to win his OG the other night, and it landed on 5 instead of 7.
Yeah, the guy's muscles are ridiculous. He's always showed a lot of love and support. But back to what's up? Yeah, and I'll definitely speak on him deeply on the next one, but I don't want to lose focus on Gio, and I think he deserves a minute just because maybe this also emphasized vendor of the week type of ordeal for us to really, once again, we spoke about showing support, and I think it's an interesting conversation, seeing of the route he's taking and how he's going about it. And guys, and I think, look, there's one thing that me and Gio are doing, and you guys could look at our grids and see the beautiful corals we're bringing. To get to that point, to get to every single picture, there's so many layers behind that, y'all. I mean, first and foremost, we are keeping these corals and like trying to get them to their primo condition, to their grade A level, like, and not only, and let's be realistic, also to make the sale, to really make the sale proper sale, we have to get these corals to primo condition to be able to really get. Other than that, then we're just like not doing anything. So once we do all that, which is a lot of behind the scenes and a lot of things happening, then we go ahead and we have to use high grade foam. I mean, this is I don't want to say the poor man's approach, because we're not using like Canons and we don't have these fancy not saying that we're using an iPhone 6. We are using. I mean, he's a Samsung guy. I'm an Apple guy, so you guys could even go into our grids and see how the pictures relate. But his quality.
I've never heard it. Is that what it has going to the grid? You're right. That is what it is.
Yeah, but if you look at our grids,
if you look at Gio's page, Heaven's Reef, his grid is legit.
It's and here's the thing. I guess where I'm trying to get at is some of these pieces, like people will be like this is too good to be true. Like it must be like some Kush coral thing. I mean, and I don't want to throw myself in here because I really want to zone in on
Kush coral goes crazy. I'm not giving
but I mean, I'm just giving a perspective to people. The truth of the matter is, like, Gio delivers. Like what that crazy grid looks like, those are the crazy corals you're getting. Like you see these like one thing about the room too that I also encourage is like having people put their corals on there, put their purchases. Obviously, it helps us on an interactive level, on a branding level, on a marketing level, but it also shows the trust part. You got what you were expecting, and I mean, and we've done a lot of business. We've proven a lot, and I mean, he's a straight coral guy. Me, I've delivered thousands and thousands of gallons of water on top of the corals, and then all the other miscellaneous stuff that comes with it. And just to give us some credit, and especially Gio, like we are the photographers, the farmers, the accounting, the packaging, the shipping, finance, we're everything. We do everything. We do everything. Like, it's a lot of work, and that's on top of, like you said, our day-to-day work, our families. And then everything that comes with the reef.
That's kind of my goal. So since I've been in Georgia, what I found is I'm a big forum guy. I believe in forums. To me, that's where any hobby that you're in, if you find the right forum, you found your spot, right? So I found the Atlanta Reef Club. So my goal with the 5-gallon frag tank is, right? That's a thing, the Atlanta Reef Club. And it's a forum online, and there's people, and you know what I mean? It has a for sale, trade, different type, it has all the sections. Like
that's super smart. I love that you brought that up, because a lot of people move. So it's a great way to zone in on wherever you end up.
So it's got all of that. So Arabian's Reef, he's laughing. The Arabian Reefer is a hater on my little 5-gallon frag tank. Because in his mind, I got to buy the water box. And I'm saying, there's no way I'm giving anybody $3,000 of my hard work money for a fish tank. I just can't do it. I can't do it. If I hit the lotto, I get a bonus. Christmas comes early, we buy the water box, right? But for me to take the money that I worked for, that I know came through my job at the restaurant and being the general manager and managing my employees, realistically, I'm not going to spend $5,000 on a fish tank. Say I'm from South Georgia. I live in Atlanta for 12 years. I'm in Lawrenceville. I'm in Lawrenceville, Georgia. But for everybody, and I just moved here 3 months ago. There's no way I'm going to take the money that I made, what's up, Greg, from my job and purchase a $5,000 fish tank. I'm not. Now, like I said, if I get lucky, get a bonus, end of year, you know what I mean? Free money that doesn't exist, I can buy another tank. For now, I'm going to start with my 5-gallon frag tank that's acrylic. We're going to, you know, it's already drilled. I got the stand. I still got to put the door on it. It kind of sucks, but it's going to be awesome in the end.
100%.
The Arabian reefer, he laughs at me every time I tell him about my frag tank. I give the Arabian reefer an update on my frag tank, and he laughs at it. He's a hater.
What?
It's got to be.
Hey,
and you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build that frag tank, and I swear to God, I'm going to put in a Kento right in the middle of that stupid 5-gallon frag tank for him. Whichever one is his favorite one, I'm going to put in a Kento right in the front from the Atlanta Reef Club. I'm going to buy it for like $200. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the tank for him. He's a hater, bro. I'm going to build a tank. It's going to be cool. It's going to have colored PVC. The Instagram is going to love it.
Hey, if you're going to buy an account, go see Heaven's Reef.
We're going to go see Heaven's Reef, right? Hey. Tell me that Canto.
Hey, but look, I think once again,
he said it's going to flood the room. It's only 5 gallons, bro.
Hey, guys, the shirts are available, by the way. The plug, go get them. I got some ready for a few people in here. I appreciate the support on that. And I think, like, even like, and I'm showing this off also to give like an example of like what us young guys in the hobby are venturing out to doing and expanding and trying. And to, I think you said a word earlier that I think sticks to a lot of us. The ambition we have and the way we're going about it, we're definitely moving in a direction that I think is different from the norm. Hey, and I think it's healthy for the hobby the way we're all kind of looking at each other, and that's why I feel like I have a responsibility on my end. It's kind of cool. I feel like I have a responsibility on my end to, like, obviously for myself to prove like my brand and my name, but I think I'm definitely stepping out of certain boundaries and in the most minuscule ways too. It's very simple changes to the norm. Just to set myself apart from the rest, and I think there's been a lot that have, like, I mean, revolutionized locally. Not saying I've changed the world, but I think I've touched a few people, and I can be happy with that on how we're taking this about on a home level. I think it's healthy for that we're growing it. We're having a newfound respect for it in the hobby, and some people. I mean, look, you were saying about the money and stuff like that. Like, some people have really like found their niche on how to be able like to make self-sustainable reef tanks by not being a businessman, but selling a few frags. I mean, I won't throw the name out there, but this is gonna be cool because it's gonna be like an inside joke that if you're not in the room, you don't know. But I gotta give this guy respect. I'm gonna call him Mr. Gonzo. There's got to be a few people laughing right now.
I love that you bring him up. Man.
And I'm not gonna bring his name up, but I truly like watching him do what he's doing. And some people kind of give him shit, and he's a jokester too, so he deserves some of that. But ultimately, like, I got respect for the approach he's doing because I think it's an approach that more people could and should take to be able to drive better systems, you know? Like, I'm not saying you have to.
So let me tell you, I'm going to shout him out, right? I'm going to shout him out because he's my guy, and I like him. And
all right, go for it.
He's my scientist friend, right? And I fuck with Serge. And I don't think Serge has Instagram either. I don't even know how
he's not watching this, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, but he said he watched it the other night, and I don't know how he did.
I think he has one of those secret pages.
I think he does, right? But he's my scientist friend. And, believe it or not, the reason me and you are even having this conversation is because of Serge. Believe it or not, right? It's crazy how everything works, but because of Serge, we're having this conversation. Because of Serge, we have the Reef Experience, and it's kind of cool to our name, the Reef Experience, where We're watching him in real time build this new tank. I've watched him in real time. I remember a year ago when his tank crashed. And I look at his tank now and he's selling corals. And not only is he selling this little bit of corals and he feels confident in it, he has a whole new tank built, right? And it's not a little tank. It's a water box peninsula with radions on it. He has nice pumps on it. He has a fancy scape. And that is the Reef Experience, to the core of what we do. We watch this dude evolve, man. And not only is he doing well, he has so many gonzos to your name. It's paying for everything. It's paying for everything. I know it is. You know it is. It's paying for everything. Right? But when Serge says, hey, man, I got sand, I think that dude sold the gonzo. Right? And it's self-sustaining. It's awesome.
But once again, but look, let me once again, that's that, and I'm giving you guys the advice. But look, I practice what I preach. Like now, I'm on a whole different scale and level, and I'm real like legit business type deal. But since day one, like I've always been like somewhat in my ways, always trying to build within the build. So I would sell this piece and then just only have to chip in for this piece, and always kind of working my way around and kind of monetizing on where I could to soothen the hit. And I don't see any wrong in that. And I mean, it's to your point. Look,
listen, Lewis, I got one response to that. If you want to make a self-sustaining reef, you ready for this? They're not gonna like this. Are you ready?
Go.
You want a self-sustaining reef? Join Bulk Reef Supply.
Hey,
cheers to that.
Hey, cheers to that. But I will tell you, I screenshotted when you did this thing. That's gonna be the commercial right now.
That's gonna be the commercial.
Yeah, you did the whole sale right there. You did a full-blown
commercial. It's day one.
Jeez, man.
I gotta figure it out.
Look.
I'm the Black Randy. What do you want me to do?
I was gonna kick this off with like, welcome to the Reef Experience, guys.
No, man. It's Bulk Reef Supply. Self-sustaining systems. Forever. Hey, listen.
Hey,
I'm gonna have tropic. Hey, listen. Can I tell you something? I'm gonna have tropic marin forever.
Mama, we made it.
Hey, listen. The next time they run out, I'm gonna be selling tropic marin in little bags, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, you know I'm the water boy. So I shit you not. I've had my share of moments where I'm like looking at the big old bucket full of salt, and I'm like, what am I doing?
I ordered a box. Listen. I ordered the box. Listen to me. I ordered the box today, and I was doing it in my mind, and I'm like, if I did a 5-gallon water change forever, this is gonna last me a long time, right? And it's the hottest thing on the market, so they're gonna run out again. What if I just have an extra box? What if I just have tropic marin everywhere? Well, fuck it. You need salt? I got salt. Bulk Reef Supply. I'm gonna change my thing. It's gonna say Bulk Reef Supply. Sky Reef Bulk Reef Supply.
Hey. Hey, once again, Bulk Reef Supply. Look, all my RODI.
Can you believe that though? Seriously, all jokes aside. I mean, again, for me, like, to be recognized by a major brand in any field. Earlier, I was talking to Abu about it, and to be recognized in any field by a major thing, right? If you're a dude and you make shoes, and Nike sends you an email about anything, it's crazy, right? I told someone today. I think I told Ray today. Bulk Reef Supply is. I've never even got a like from Bulk Reef Supply, bro. I can't tell you right now today if they fucking follow me. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know.
Well, I will tell you.
It's an honor.
I will tell you, they like a lot of my stuff. They reposted some of my stuff, and they bulk reef supply.
That's crazy.
They're and I mean, just to be transparent with you, like on what you're talking about, the sponsorship, I can only imagine how you feel, because let's be transparent.
Bro, they've never liked the picture.
Hey, look, you can be the cool guy and all that if you want, guys, but I'll be real. I get excited when I get a like. I'm proud. I'm like, man, they saw something.
If Bulk Reef Supply liked one of my pictures, I would be hyper shit. For sure.
Yo, I was super. So I can only imagine people, like, I know. So imagine a sponsorship for Crown. That's why, bro. Yeah. Kudos to you. And you deserve it. Look what we're doing. Like, by the way, this live, guys, Desk reached out and said, let's do this. I mean, granted, we both decided we're going to be freestyling some of these random times, random dates, whenever our stars align, guys. We both, once again, have families, careers, and things. So just to make all the stars align sometimes becomes complex. So when we find these windows of opportunities, we're just going to jump in here and speak our minds and share this content with you. And hopefully you guys like it. We've got some really good feedback. I'm enjoying the crap out of it. I think once again, and why you deserve credit, Des. You have a lot of experience throughout the time. It's your experience, so it's very, just like me though, very peculiar to what we've been through, but combined, and as we start adding new people with other experiences, other stories, it's never ending, and it's very easy to do when you have some background and some stories and some progress, and I think that's part of the build I'm happy because of this is why I can do this. You know?
Man, I'm very happy. I'm proud about it. I don't really care what anyone else has to say about it. I mean, I feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel great about it. Yep. And listen, I'm humble about it. So I'm not one of those people that I got something and I'm gonna work it. Listen to me. I'm gonna work it. Right?
No BRS.
I come from Miami. Come from Miami, right? We don't play. Right? We don't play. You ever seen Scarface? He started all that. He was washing the dishes for real. Right? Right? We don't play.
Yep.
I might not never pay for salt again.
Yeah, it's such a look. This hobby has taught me so much that I've been able to apply to my businesses, to my life.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
I mean, there's a lot of, and it's very ground stuff. I mean, patience, involvement, engagement, just self ambition. Like this is a hobby. If you want to get it right. Like, look, we've been through episodes, and we're going to go through thousands of more episodes, giving you guys all this convincing, like, information and details and facts. But ultimately, we're all just kind of doing our own thing and forming our own story, our own journey.
That's why we call it the Reef Experience, right?
Yeah. And look, the Reef Experience came from the Joe Rogan experience, guys. We're both big fans. I mean, we got to give him credit on like how we can do this and communicate like from the jump.
That's why we got the whiskey.
We got a lot of practice. We've been watching a lot of his stuff. We love his stuff.
Yep.
And he's very natural. So, but look, this right here is a learning experience for me. Just like the day I built the tank was a carpentry lesson. The day I started the tank was a parameters lesson. Then the coral lesson. Then the fish lesson. The aquaculture lesson. And it just goes on and on and on. Now I'm getting ready for shows. And I mean, I haven't really spoken on it much. I don't plan on speaking on it much because I really am gonna come in with a bang. I'm gonna change the game, not because I want to overdo or overkill anybody. It's because I have to set myself aside from the rest because I'm coming from the bottom. I'm building myself up, so I can't just go in there average and expect to be able to outbeat some of these guys that are veterans to those shows and veterans to those things. So I gotta come in showing and proving where we stand and what we do, and the stand, the display, the beauty, that's just half of it. We gotta deliver the corals. So that's something I've been working on for years. And just to see all the pieces intertwining and coming together because it's so many things that I've learned just by force, because I don't have the funds to hire a team of photographers and accountants, and I got to do it all until I make it. And that's exactly what I'm doing, but it's a lot of work. So credit to Heaven's Reef and all the other guys doing it out there. I know what it takes.
And I think we'll end it with that. I love the name of our show. You know, the Reef Experience. I love where it's going. Because it's a reef experience. Each of our experiences are different. Each of our journeys are different. You know, the saying in the hobby is every tank is different.
Yep.
Right. And a lot of people take that saying for granted, but every tank is different. And for every tank, there's a group of people that have tanks just like it. But it is the reef experience, and how we all grow in the hobby. It's going to be different. You know, you're almost ready for shows, and you're trying to come into the shows with a bang. I just ordered my first bag of of frag plugs. You know what I mean? And I'm hype about just that one bag.
Yeah.
Whereas your experience is a little bit different, but it's a reef experience in general, and I think that's a good way to end it and just to really bring home what people think are what we're trying to do. This is about the reef experience for each of us. For everyone, it's going to be different.
Yeah, and I do want to add something before we go, though. Going back to Surge, guys, the content we're putting out here.
Real quick. The Arabian Reefer. We're talking about Surge, my scientist buddy, big water box gang. He's coming for you. The Arabian Reefer.
Water box gang. We got a
water box gang
now. They're gonna. Hey, there's a bunch of them out there, so they're gonna have a big. No.
The only team I'm on is Surge's team, with the fancy scape, with the peninsula, radions everywhere. Greg Carroll's favorite. Greg Carroll one time gave me a speech on on radions over Orphics, and I love the Orphic bars. To this day, I love the Orphic bars, but I swear to God, I have a radion on my tank because of Greg Carroll.
And
I swear to God, I have a radion on my tank because this dude told me to buy this thing, and he told me 100 reasons why over weeks, over months, over watching my Orphic bar. And the Orphic bar is awesome. I don't care what
they are. Says. They are really good.
Listen, my Orphic bars fell in the tank. Poured water out.
I remember that.
They turned right back on. They're legit. Incredible. To this day, they work.
But I will tell you,
the radions because of him. You know what I mean?
He's a
I
good
just want
friend.
to throw that out there.
He's a good friend because that's good advice. Because I mean, if you can do it, do it. It's good. And I mean, going back to where I wanted to sum it up at was with Surge is a lot of the content. The Reef Experience is my story, Dessa's story, but we also incorporate a lot of different people's stories. So I want to encourage more people to let us on their journey, whether it's through the room, through IG, like be open to the process because you're helping. I mean, you'd be surprised just because we have our X amount of experience doesn't mean we can't pick up a thing or two. We're always learning. But it's also great for all of us to see, compare, share our journeys. And Surge has been true to that on this build from the beginning. And I think it's been cool to see his evolution, his process, and even like to your point behind the scenes with the whole Gonzo thing. Like we've seen how he's made it happen, and it's respectful in my opinion. Like
it is respectful. And imagine that dude's tank a year from now. And imagine we're talking about someone who doesn't have Instagram. He might not ever know that we even spoke about him for this long. But imagine Surge's tank a year from now. How amazing it's going to look. Because he did the work. He took the time. He asked the questions. He put himself out there. He tried, right? And he got feedback. And some people helped him. Some people were sarcastic. But look at that peninsula now. It's in the beginning phases. There's no corals in there. But look how amazing that rockscape looks. Look how legit the tank looks. Look how legit the lights look.
I don't want to jump over something you said that's very valid that I didn't think about. But on top of the journey and sharing and helping us, you're also helping yourself because Surge has got a lot of valuable feedback that has probably saved them a bunch of stumbles upon stones along the way.
Surge is a scientist. Listen to me. Surge is a scientist. I don't care what anyone says. This dude is a scientist. Now he is that type of hobbyist where he doesn't have social media. You know what I mean? He doesn't have every account on every forum on everything forever, but he's a smart guy for sure, right? Just based off of his job, he's a smart guy. And if you notice any step he takes, he asks 100 questions. He'll ask the same question 10 times, and he'll get 10 different answers, and then he'll ask it again until he comes up with what's the best answer, and then the next thing you know, you see him do it.
Yeah, and
And it's
look,
cool. And it's cool to see.
But one thing I do want to bring up that I've noticed throughout time, that he's also, I got to give him credit on this, that he's improved. And this happens, believe it or not. Sometimes, I could be wrong. This is my opinion. Des, you can fall back on it and tell me I'm wrong. But I've always, once again, I deal with a lot of very smart people in the plant world and stuff like that, and their brains are always doing this all the time on anything from a
he's one of those people.
Everything turns into an analysis. So there was a saying that somebody said a while back that stuck to me, that I think it should be on the Mount Rushmore of this reefing thing, is paralysis by overanalysis. Okay? Yes, I think that is very true.
I'm coming into the stage of the hobby where I believe monitoring is better than action.
Yes, no, look, one thing is being proactive versus reactive, and I get that part, but paralysis by overanalysis tends to happen sometimes in the most minuscule and ways that can also harm the thought process along the way.
Right, and I understand what you mean. I understand the
analysis. So not to discount, I'm not trying to discount analysis. Right, I think analysis is huge.
No, I told you, he will ask the same question 10 times.
Oh, and I love
at different times of the day, to get different results, to get different people to answer. He's a scientist. I know what he's doing.
Yes. Yes, and I think now, though, like the involvement that I've seen is, and to your point, I think this is probably his scientific side getting to what was he really wanted like a set, and he's the type that he'll ask until he feels he has that set in stone answer, which sometimes in this hobby, we say this almost every single episode, results may vary. So yes, from tank to tank, situation to situation, scenario to scenario,
they do.
When you're putting all the so, but not to minimize his approach, like to your point, and this is where I was getting with it, is he gets his picture out there and asks, and then he'll re-ask on an answer, and he'll really zone in, and we are learning because we're like tuned in on his thread of questions and answers. We're seeing the execution. We're seeing the results in the near future when he makes his decision and reacts, and the changes happen in his tank. And we're following on this journey while learning along the way with him. And that's the beautiful thing about this. I mean, and that's why I guess I wanted to say, like, we need more of that. I'm like I told you on the last one, and you even said it, like, I'm somewhat guilty of it, even though my tank's pretty much done. So it's kind of like showing you a finished product. I wish I could have done a build thing from the beginning, but I wasn't a social media guy. I had no thoughts of videos. I like in that sense, I was just building a tank and building a business with no I didn't see social media in me, the live, like that was not in the plan. It all just, once again, I stumbled upon these things, and I'm giving myself, here I am trying to make it happen. You know?
Yeah, and I agree, and I'm the same way. You couldn't tell me a year ago I would be doing live streams.
Yeah.
With myself on camera, sitting here talking about reef tanks, right? But that is, and I keep reiterating this because it is what we're doing. It's the Reef Experience. It's an experience, and all of our experiences are unique. My experience, my journey is different from your experience and your journey, and I think all of ours is different. We have a great resource to pull from because we're in these chats with all of these people, and I think that's why we have so much information to talk about, so much things to bring to the table. because I've seen so many tanks real time, not on the forum, not waiting for a repost, not on Instagram. I, I wake up in the morning and there's messages, right? I go to work and when I come home, there's messages. If I go to the bathroom and I come back, there's messages. And that's the Reef Experience. And I think it's really important. I think that's what we're doing and what we're bringing to the table and showing people. This is not about my experience with any particular company. This is not about your experiences trying to sell coral. This is about the Reef Experience in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we're gonna have unlimited content for a very long time if we continue in the hobby, because it's a moving target. It's a never-ending art project, and for all of us, we're constantly renovating, renewing, trying new things out, changing things up. And it's a huge gang of us, with all of us constantly pushing the needle forward and trying new things out. So I mean, that really helps us on seeing a long future for us as far as valuable input, valuable info, real time experiences, ours and others that we with no permission we speak on. Like Mr. Serge, I hope he doesn't hate us for this, but
Yeah.
we went on him for a while, but we showed him a lot of love. I mean, I don't think there was
No,
anything negative on
100%,
there.
100%.
I love seeing his evolution. He's seen he's been in there on mines. He's seen mines. We're all watching each other's growth. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
And let's continue to do it.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us again. Like I said, it's a Reef Experience. We're gonna do it all the time, and thanks everybody.
I hope y'all like it. Till the
Thank
next
you.
time. Deuces.